Hello, everyone. Tiana Vanderhei here, host of the Refined Redhead podcast. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Ryan Pierce, host of Completely Serious here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Completely Serious, where we talk about sports and have fun with great guests. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you'll never miss an episode of Completely Serious. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Last time on the Greg and Dave Show.
Oh yeah! Big Jim Slade.
It's time for the Greg and Dave Show.
We do have a studio audience here at the Greg and Dave Show.
We do.
Put them behind a wall and ask them to be quiet.
Featuring Greg Watsnyder.
We were just talking about spam.
And David Bobke.
I want to make sure I'm dating the right one.
Bravely bringing you the stories of the strange.
We all applaud Sweden for sticking with Trainee McTrainface.
I'm thinking of changing my name to Greggy McGregface.
What, you high?
Now sit back and enjoy the show.
And we don't need to say any more about how unpleasant that is.
Hello, you are listening to the Greg and Dave Show, presented by Public House Media. I am the Greg.
And I am Dave Show.
You are Dave Show.
I sure am.
And I was commenting that Dave Show's voice is a little bit lower than usual pre-broadcast here. If you notice that, feel free to comment on our Facebook page, which is the Greg and Dave Show. By the way, like and share and comment on this broadcast too, which is available on multiple platforms. Basically, wherever you can find a good podcast, you can find our podcast. Right, Dave Show?
Well, that's certainly correct, the Greg. I don't know what I was doing there.
Especially on what website?
ThePhmedia.com. ThePHmedia.com, if you like to spell things out.
Boy, your voice is just strangely low. I'm freaking out over here. I am freaking out. Anyway, speaking of freaking out, we have some stories today. We have one bad business idea, possibly another bad business idea.
I would say so.
And oh look, a dog.
A lovely dog. You know, I have to be honest. First of all, I feel we should mention up front a little bit of business, especially for me. I would like to apologize to everybody for the disaster that was last week's show. I clearly did not listen to the directions given by Mrs. Bale when she was telling me how the board worked, and I got kind of, I broke the studio, basically, last week. We kind of haven't fixed it yet. I guess that depends on your definition of fixing it. We have some aluminum cans stacked up where the wall was knocked away, and it's covering up the hole. It's not going to stand very long, I don't think. But Mrs. Bale is not here again this week, and she is still on assignment. That's all I'm allowed to say. And that's where
They're also rebuilding the wall in the studio here today. So if you hear construction sounding noises, that's the reason why.
We have interesting stories, as always, to talk about, the Greg. And I'm pleased to say our first story, the Greg, is an indication that everything is perfectly okay with the world. There's no more crime. There's no more war. There is no more tomfoolery afoot anywhere around the globe. Because our first story is titled, Dog Spends 3 days Staring at Wall and Nobody Knows Why.
Yes. Now, I'm usually afraid of dogs, as you know, Dave Show. But I don't know that I'd be afraid of this dog. This dog, for some reason, seems to have nothing to fear about him or her.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's a male dog or female dog.
Yes, well, we should find out momentarily. There is a video here. This, by the way, comes from metro.co.uk. We do love our British sources, after all.
Yes,
and
we
Patty
do.
Gladwell has this story with a video of essentially looks like a bus shelter made of wood, and there's a bench, and the dog is basically sitting, I would say in the corner, standing in the corner, really, and it's just staring at the wall, as you would expect from the title of this story. It says, locals in Argentina have been left confused by a dog who's been filmed staring at a blue wall at a bus stop for 3 days straight. Nobody knows why the French Mastiff Labrador cross, dubbed Chicho on social media, is constantly staring at the wall. But apparently he only takes short breaks away from it, and nobody can seem to lead him away. He was filmed in the Argentinian city of General Roca, and spends most of his time at the blue bus stop in the Stefanel neighborhood, where he is filmed either standing on all fours or sitting, keeping his eyes glued to the blue wall. Now, there seems to be one spot on that blue wall in particular. So I have to think myself, he's seeing something or smelling something. There's got to be something, right? I mean, if it's a wall, there's a limit to what it could be, you know?
Right. I find it interesting about this story. A couple things, actually just one. That they're pointing out that the wall is blue and the bus stop is blue. I wonder if there's any significance to that color and how fixated this dog is on the blue wall of the blue bus stop.
Yeah. Okay, here's my theory. Just came up with this just now while you were talking. This dog maybe has gotten some less than legal drugs, and instead of seeing gray, as a dog normally would, he's actually seeing colors, and the blue is freaking him out.
Much like Dave Show's voices still, right now.
Still freaking the Greg out. I sound so much lower than normal. I don't know if it's Mrs. Bale's chair or... I'm back to my regular Mountain Dew, I'm happy to say.
Oh, okay.
Nonetheless, Mrs. Bale's chair, it does... I feel like there is a spirit in the chair or something.
That and Dave Show, how many bus stops that you know of have walls?
Oh, you know, bus shelters around Milwaukee, not a lot as far as walls go. They're a little more of a complex build, I guess. It's a sheltered area. I guess technically speaking, it does have a wall, or I guess technically it would have like 3 walls. Mm-hmm. But not quite of this build. Pretty basic setup. Almost like a baseball dugout type of a thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess, I don't know if these are real common there. If all stops have them or not, but nonetheless, it says here, people have tried to steer Chicho away from the wall, but he continuously wags his tail and stares at it. So he clearly likes whatever he's sensing here. It says, while it's always a worry when animals are left on the streets on their own, your minds can be eased by the fact that Chicho currently has thousands of people looking out for him, and we just hope that if he is staring at the blue wall to wait for someone, they turn up to collect him soon.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep, and I'm sure the dog has a Facebook following, too.
Actually, best of my knowledge, at this time, the dog does not have a Facebook page.
So this is a dog, again, that I cannot be afraid of because it wants nothing to do with humans. It only wants something to do with a wall. You know, this reminds me of the Full House episode where Michelle sings Full House, by the way, not the sequel on Netflix right now, but where Michelle says something to the effect of, it's no fun looking at the wall. But apparently to this dog, it is fun.
I'll tell you one thing. I would rather stare at a wall than watch Full House. But nonetheless, I'm quite envious of this dog the more I look at him, because he has a wall to stare at. I barely even have 2 walls left to stare at here in the studio.
Yes, after last week's little incident.
The debacles,
with
shenanigans, and tomfoolery. By the way, turns out Kool-Aid Man, a little bit of a jerk.
Yeah?
Just came through the wall and left. Didn't offer us Kool-Aid or anything. So,
yeah,
you know what?
Yeah.
Kool-Aid guy, that's to you. How about that?
Yeah.
Nobody buy Kool-Aid.
Exactly.
Bring the Kool-Aid industry to a screeching halt, courtesy of the Greg and Dave Show. Although, the Greg,
Yes.
we can offer another beverage to our listeners.
Instead of Kool-Aid? Okay, let's do it.
Look at me breaking out a Segway today.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
about that?
Any chimpanzees riding that Segway?
Ooh, that's a good one. Hey, oh, that's right. She's not here. I was going to ask her to drop some music in. No, that's not it. Maybe I'll figure it out later. Still hit Baxter's music there. Oh, well.
Okay.
Nonetheless, we'll try to put the drop in later or something. It'll sound really smooth if I actually put effort into doing post on the show, which I don't know if I can be bothered.
In a segment we like to call post-prod.
Post-prod. Or maybe I'll just break down and ask Mrs. Bale when she gets back.
Chimpanzee riding on a Segway. Chimpanzee riding on a Segway.
Our next story takes us to Fortune.com, where we have a beverage that is definitely superior to Kool-Aid. I'm going to break down. This probably isn't better than Kool-Aid, actually.
Okay.
It is entitled Sweden's Newest Beer is made, you may want to be sitting down for this, made using sewage water.
Wow.
I threw up in my mouth a little bit. It says here, next time you're in Sweden, and of course we are there frequently, monthly even.
Yes, we are there frequently. Yes.
Yes, you've got a place there.
We've done more than a couple stories about Sweden. We should do a live show there.
Yeah, hey, I'd be game for that.
Baxter, all expenses paid to Sweden.
Yeah, dude.
Public House Media, will you be having that?
Yeah, let's stretch that budge a little bit and get us to Sweden.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll let you know how the dating scene is out there. Report back to you. Anyways, the story reads, next time you're in Sweden, you can grab a bottle of beer made from sewage. Now, before we proceed, I have to state I wouldn't be much good in investigating this because I don't drink beer. The Greg, are you a fan of the beer?
If I do, it's cider beers, and I guess I'm sort of a beer snob because I don't like too hoppy of beers. I like the sweeter cider, like I said, cider beers or a shandy or something to that effect. I live in Wisconsin. I feel like you have to drink a little beer if you live in Wisconsin. You've never had beer, Dave Show?
Not on purpose, no.
Okay.
I did grab a cup once that I thought had my soda in it, and started to put it in my mouth, realized this is definitely not Sprite, and spit it right back into the cup. So
yeah,
that was my encounter with beer there. Good. But you basically say you're a fan of the softer side of beers.
Right. All other beer kind of tastes like sewage water, kind of like this story.
Yeah. Well, maybe this will be right up your alley then. Be right on the nose, as they might say. And I've been avoiding saying the name of this company because I'm going to brutalize this one. You can find the link, of course, on the Facebook page, facebook.com/Greg Dave Show, Greg with 3 Gs. The Nya Carnegie Bryggeriet Brewery, Carlsberg, and the Swedish Environmental Research Institute recently collaborated on a Pilsner that includes organic malt, hops, and recycled wastewater. The beer launched on May 25th. The beer is called, I'm not exactly sure how they want this called, but it's spelled out Purest. It's P-U:*REST.
I would call it PU rest, because in our family when someone would make us stink in the bathroom, we would always say PU. That may be giving out too much personal information. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Mom and Dad, if you're listening.
Well, it does spell out purist. I guess maybe that's how they would like it pronounced, but
okay.
I don't know. Maybe that's what they're going for. I refuse to pronounce it that way, just because you got that colon. I'm not on board with this whole idea, frankly. Nonetheless, the idea behind the brew is to raise awareness about the ability to make wastewater into safe drinking water, which happened before the water made its way into the brew. I'm glad that they noted that in the story. I'm still vastly not interested.
Anything that's been flushed down my toilet, I wouldn't say I'd be interested in drinking that in any form.
Yeah, this is the sort of thing that if I had a choice of drinking this or nothing, I think I'd go nothing. I'm just not interested. They said in a press release, ultimately this comes down to beating the drum for sustainable water treatment and for the value of fresh water. So I guess if this is a success, that's a good indication you can purify wastewater. Take water that has been defiled, shall we say, and make something drinkable out of it again. Yes, it says the beer will be available this summer in Sweden as retailers, as well as some selected bars and festivals. It does not say anything about the beer being available in the U.S., so if you want to try to order it online, you'll have to search around. But I can promise nothing as far as its availability in the States.
I have an inside source on this thing. I've been told that they're going to sell it next to the porta potties at
how convenient.
Swedish festivals. Yeah, so maybe possibly good marketing. Yes. By the way, I made that up. Just
I feel like this is how some beers and some wines go well with certain things. I feel like this beer would go very well with American daytime television. Yeah, if you want to watch The Bold and Beautiful or something, this would probably pair very nicely.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel. I mean, if you're going to make a beer, but don't try to say it's part of some awareness campaign too. Don't try to pull that one over on me. If you want to make a beer out of urine, if you want to make a beer out of whatever PU, that's up to you. But don't pull this over on me as an awareness campaign for how we all need to be drinking, how we all need to be recycling water. You know what I mean, Dave Show?
Yeah, I feel like this could be accomplished much better, more successfully, with sort of more of a worldwide reaching impact if they made a viral video. Rather than just go to festivals and just say, hey, here's wastewater. But you have like 3 different, shot glasses of beer, one being theirs, and say, hey, which one, do you think is wastewater? You have one beer that's, let's say, Pabst Blue Ribbon, one that's got, I don't know, Coors or something in it, and another one that's got sewage water, and say, which one of these do you think had sewage water in it? And if people can't tell, then, hey, you make a video out of that, throw it online, it's going to go viral. And I think that would go well. I think that'd be a good way to go personally.
Yeah. Take a dump, make a viral video about it, and then go for a commercial break. Let's do that right now.
Yeah. That's usually how it works on Game Grumps.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shout out to Game Grumps, by the way. Danny and Aaron. Cool guys, I'm sure. Haven't met them, but anyway. Okay, so time to go to commercial. Yes.
We'll be back right after this.
Let's try going to commercial. If I can remember which one was for the commercials. This one?
Oh, that button. Well, you just brought a bird into the studio, Dave Show. What are you doing? Come on.
No, it's not why I didn't hear anything. Okay, that's not your budgie, is it?
No.
Your vision.
Unless my budgie recycled itself or reincarnated itself into a different kind of bird.
Hey, do you want to be part of some wastewater? No. Okay. Do you want to drink some wastewater? No. Okay. No, you're just gonna take off. Okay. Well, now I gotta fix that part of that aluminum can wall again. All right. Let's try this. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a tiger by the toe. If it hollers, let him go. Eeny, meeny, miny.
Okay.
Mo. Hey, it worked with my idiotic rhyming.
Hello, I must be going.
The Greg and Dave Show will be right back after this.
How's it going, everybody? This is Keith.
And Katie, hosts of Coffee with Keith and Katie, here on Public House Media.
Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. When you're done here, I hope you'll check out our show, Coffee with Keith and Katie,
where we talk about our lives and relationship over a cup of coffee.
A new episode airs on Facebook Live every Monday and Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you'll never miss an episode of Coffee with Keith and Katie.
Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Mistakes have been made today, but this is not one of them.
Yeah, I'm in the wrong here. I suck.
You're listening to The Greg and Dave Show.
And we're back on Public House Media. You're listening to The Greg and Dave Show. I am the Greg.
And I'm not.
And he's not.
Yes, the wall, such as it is back up, though. The aluminum cans are more or less back up and together.
Well, this is very good news. Houston, we don't have a problem anymore.
We are all good on this end.
You know, Dave Show, I've always been a fan of masks.
Have you?
On Halloween.
Ah.
When masks are supposed to be used.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give a hot take right here.
All right.
The only legal excuse to wear a mask is on Halloween. October 31st, that's the only time. And if you're in space. Because I guess you have your space masks. Or if you're scuba diving. See, I'm already breaking my own rule. I'm coming up with my own options. But this next story is just weird, and it's about masks.
Yeah, I think, spoiler alert, I think this is a dumb idea. I'm just going to put that out there. People listening in can decide for themselves. This comes to us from Syfy.com. I know it's spelled S-Y-F-Y. It's like the TV channel Sci-Fi. You remember when they made that switch from being SCI-FI, like science fiction, to SYFY?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess they're probably their website, but whatever. I'm going to call them Syfy.com because once they went away from being a science fiction channel, who cares?
Right.
It may as well be a beer made out of sewage water for all I care. But anyways, nonetheless, from their website, we have a story about a Kickstarter campaign. Anytime you want to get into these, and, you know, it's a lot of interesting Kickstarters out there, I'll say that. It says, for anyone who works in an office or has to make a phone call in a public place, there may be a unique solution to maintain privacy. Earlier this week, Greg Umhofer launched a Kickstarter campaign to fund Bloxvox, a mask that he created to muffle the wearer's voice while still allowing the person on the other side of the call to clearly hear them. According to him, the Bloxvox works with any microphone that can fit inside the mask. In the accompanying Kickstarter video, a few performers demonstrate how the Bloxvox can potentially be very useful. At the same time, this may have just launched our favorite meme of the week, they say.
Dave Shaw, I have a question. Are you wearing this today? Is this why your voice sounds lower today?
Oh, goodness, no. Wouldn't be caught dead wearing this thing. So basically, it's this little sort of box. It almost looks like a cow's nose or something. But when it's on a person, they really do look like Bane from The Dark Knight Rises. It's a cheap version. I don't know if this thing works or not. In fairness, I have not used it. I haven't had a chance to watch the video of this yet. No Mrs. Bale here. I was busy before the show. Didn't have time.
Right.
But not only does it look like Bane from Dark Knight Rises, it basically looks like you're strapping a fanny pack onto your mouth. And, you know, not becoming. Not so much. If we're checking out the dating scene in Sweden, the Greg, and we're walking around with one of these on, I'm telling you right now, we're not going to get a lot of dates.
Well, we might. It's just, it'd be different.
It would be different.
Different kinds of girls would be attracted to us, yes.
I was about to ask what do you mean by that, and I'm thinking, well, maybe I shouldn't ask. Not sure I want to know. Anyway, it does say Umhofer has accepted the Bane comparisons with good humor, which you'd kind of have to. It's pretty obvious, I think. It says they have a considerable way to go before it can reach its funding goal of $25,000. But the campaign has until Friday, July 20th, to pull together the rest of its money. And if anyone wants more information on Bloxvox, go to Kickstarter and look that up. BLOXVOX. Like I said, I'm just not sure here. We still haven't mastered blindfolds for a game of pin the tail on the donkey here.
Right.
I don't know how this is supposed to work with sound as far as blocking things out for people around you and still being clear enough for the person that you're talking to. I'm actually reminded of a peripheral thing for the Nintendo Entertainment System where you had a headset. The audio was all supposed to go into your ears, this little headset. And it advertised that people can do other things while you're playing your video games quietly. And the problem was, all the sound's going into your ears, but you're screaming at the screen through this little mouthpiece, And you're yelling, fire, 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 fire.
And then people just look at you weird.
Yeah, just you're making more noise then than you would be just pressing the buttons and hearing the noise from the game.
Yeah. This seems like the kind of thing where if it's like, there's no such thing as privacy when you're in a public place.
Pretty much.
There's literally not.
Yeah. Hey.
That's my profound thought of the day, Dave Show.
There you go. There you go. And on that note, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by the toe. If he hollers, let him go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Hey, it's almost the end of the show.
Hey.
Woohoo!
Thanks for listening to the Greg and Dave Show on Public House Media, presented by Public House Media. And we would like you to like, subscribe, and share. Subscribe, of course, so you get every single show that you produce. And so I don't have to tag 1,000 of my friends in the comments saying, hey, listen to this, because you can say, hey, I'm already subscribed.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why you should subscribe. Coming up next week on the show, Dave Show, what do we have?
Well, sir, next week on the show, we should have Mrs. Bale back, I hope. But not that I miss Mrs. Bale that much. But
yeah, I don't miss her that much either.
I miss Mrs. Bale a little bit. But anyway.
Yeah.
You know what? We're good. And I've almost got this board completely figured out. I still got a few buttons on here that I'm not totally sure what they do.
Push them all.
Well, it's just if I don't touch them, then nothing can go wrong. You know, although it is kind of tempting.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And if I put no, I can't touch them.
Anyway.
Yes, I can. I have to. I cannot find my pantaloons anywhere. Okay, well, I'm not sure what that was for.
Just don't push the one where it says will self-destruct in like 30 seconds, okay?
Self-destruct in 7 seconds. Okay. I won't touch that one.
Okay.
Wait, which one is that? That's covering 2 buttons. The sticker's coming off. Which one did that come off of? Eeny, meeny... Wait, what am I doing? I'm not touching it. That's it.
Do you know that there's a children's book called Don't Touch That Button?
I was not aware.
Yeah. My nephew. It was read to my nephew a lot in his formative years. He's still in his formative years. What am I talking about? My phone is whistling at me.
Interesting. Does he like to touch buttons? That's what I want to know.
No, but I think my phone knows something that I know too, that I'm hungry. So
about that
time, I may go get something to eat.
That sounds great. And one of these buttons orders delivery, but I'm afraid to try to figure out which one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Well, Greg, I shall catch you next week.
Yes, definitely.
We shall catch all you lovely people next week as well.
Yes. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Well, I guess they'll catch us, actually.
Don't touch the button. Whatever you do.
No, I'm not touching the button.
You've been listening to The Greg and Dave Show. The Greg and Dave Show theme is Take a Chance by Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com.